Indonesia is a truly unique and astonishing country, where the boundaries between reality and ancient legends sometimes seem blurred, and everyday life merges with mysterious phenomena that evoke awe and wonder. This enigmatic nation covers an area of over 19,000 islands, hiding numerous secrets and riddles that most travelers, who visit only a few of the most famous and popular islands, are barely aware of. In the depths of this vast archipelago, where over 70 languages and dialects are spoken, lie not only natural beauty and unique landscapes, but also ancient customs, rituals, and beliefs preserved through centuries-old traditions. What hidden meanings and mysteries does this mysterious land keep secrets within? Which ancient rites and practices have survived to this day on the islands, where real Komodo dragons, great lizards capable of killing an ox with a single deadly bite, still live? Among some of the tribes inhabiting Indonesia, traditions more than 4,000 years old are still performed, and these customs have changed little since ancient times, as if frozen in time like insects in amber. Despite being the world's largest Muslim country, remote corners of this archipelago preserve shamanic rituals, ceremonies, and rites that surprise and even shock Europeans. There one can encounter practices related to healing the dead, ancient rites of communicating with ancestral spirits, and inexplicable rituals that seem fantastical and mystical to modern perception. Our journey through Indonesia, much like plunging into an iceberg, will allow us to delve beneath the surface, beyond the typical tourist routes, and get acquainted with the darker, more mysterious sides of local culture. Starting from well-known facts and general information, we will gradually descend into the shadowy corners of Indonesian reality, where phenomena and events concealed from most guides and travel brochures are hidden. What exactly lies beneath the surface of this enigmatic and diverse country? The first fact about this mysterious land is its geographical position. It is an archipelago located between two great oceans. But considering the country's scale, it itself becomes one of its main mysteries. Imagine these 19,000 islands scattered across the seas like countless precious stones randomly cast into the hands of an ancient craftsman. These islands, akin to rare gems, stretch across the Indian and Pacific Oceans, with only about 6,000 inhabited, while the rest remain hidden in the shadows of jungles, ocean depths, and impenetrable forests guarding their secrets. What lies hidden in these uninhabited or sparsely populated corners, where no modern foot has yet trod? Part 2 of 23. What ancient artifacts, traces of vanished civilizations, and mysterious symbols could still be hidden in their impassable caves, ancient forests, or lost ruins? Indonesia is the largest island country in the world, stretching for about 5,000 kilometers, roughly equivalent to the distance from the Siberian sun forest to the Kremlin Wall in Moscow. This length impresses with its scale and raises even more questions about the vast secrets concealed within its depths. Such immense expanse is due to the incredible diversity of climate zones, which seamlessly transition into one another, forming the richest ecosystems and unique natural landscapes. Thanks to this diversity, the country possesses an unmistakable atmosphere, being a true kaleidoscope of cultural traditions and historical features. On the western edges, one can find ancient Buddhist temples, preserved as a living heritage of bygone eras, serving as testimony to the high level of cultural and spiritual development of long-gone empires. Among these magnificent temple complexes and ruins, a special spiritual energy can be felt, leaving a lasting impression on visitors. Moving to the eastern part of the country, one can observe tribes living by Stone Age laws, maintaining their customs, rituals, and traditions unchanged for many generations. These people still adhere to ancient rituals that most modern people see as remnants of the past, yet for them, they remain sacred and relevant. Their way of life seems almost otherworldly. They live in harmony with nature, preserving the balance with their surroundings and following established rules, as if time has stood still for them many centuries ago. Some locals believe that in remote island corners lie special power places, where the laws of physics seem to be defied. Time flows at a different pace there, and natural phenomena appear inexplicable and sometimes astonishing. Some explorers and travelers who have wandered through these mysterious territories speak of strange magnetic anomalies, inexplicable flashes of light, and a sense of ancient powers, as if nature itself possesses consciousness. These mysterious phenomena are linked to ancient cults and rituals practiced on these islands thousands of years ago. People are convinced that deep and unrevealed mysteries are hidden in these places, remaining inaccessible to most modern researchers and tourists. These secluded corners of nature, surrounded by dense tropical forests, caves, and cliffs, seem to keep their secrets behind an impenetrable veil of mystery. They hide their enigmas so skillfully that modern seekers must exercise considerable patience and persistence just to catch a glimpse of their true essence. The stories and legends surrounding these places seem to be frozen behind an invisible wall that divides modernity from antiquity, making them seem inaccessible to a superficial glance. Delving deeper, one can only sense that the true riches of these corners remain hidden behind layers of mystery and mysticism. An important aspect that cannot be ignored is that this country is not merely an island nation, but a true gateway to the enigmatic and multifaceted world of Indonesia. Its heart, full of secrets and legends, has preserved many mysterious pages. This small patch of land, which locals reverently call the Island of Gods and the Island of 1,000 Temples, attracts millions of travelers from around the world each year, including from Russia and the countries of the former Soviet Union. For many, it has become a symbol of Indonesia itself, a place shrouded in mystical legends, tales, and beliefs passed down through generations. This tiny piece of land, with its endless beaches covered in soft sand, broad waves breaking upon the shore, perfect for surfing, and majestic temple complexes, draws not only adventure seekers and thrill hunters, but also those seeking spiritual enlightenment. However, behind the bright postcards showcasing endless beaches and mesmerizing sunsets lies much more than meets the eye. What happens inside this island behind its glossy photos and tourist routes? What secrets are hidden behind centuries-old temples nestled in dense jungles? And what is concealed behind the facade of this oasis of paradise tranquility? The culture of this place is known for its unique blend of Hinduism, animism, and ancient beliefs, shaping a special spiritual ecosystem. Every stone, tree, and even water source is considered inhabited by spirits, with special deities and spirits acting as their guardians. Local priests and shamans, called Pimangki, continue to perform ancient rituals rooted in a distant past, long before the emergence of modern religions and cult practices. All of them create a vibrant spiritual life for this extraordinary island, sustained by centuries-old traditions passed from generation to generation, maintaining a unique connection with mystical forces that permeate every part of it. These ancient rites are a living and vivid testament to the rich legacy of spiritual traditions transmitted through centuries. Despite their age, their mystique and enigma still evoke deep interest among researchers, scholars, and seekers of spiritual revelations. For many years, those traveling through these sacred sites have shared stories of strange phenomena that cannot be fully explained from a modern perspective. They speak of strange alterations in the perception of time and the surrounding space, of sudden flashes of insight as if bursts of knowledge, and sometimes of encounters with phenomena that seem supernatural and beyond ordinary explanation. Particularly vivid and mysterious are accounts of extraordinary events in the sacred zones of the island, where every stone or every space appears imbued with spiritual power. These testimonies generate numerous hypotheses, ranging from the influence of special energy lines, power lines intersecting at ancient sites, to the effects of natural and geophysical factors such as volcanic activity, magnetic fields, or the unique composition of the atmosphere. Many anthropologists believe that such experiences may result from psychological immersion in a foreign culture, where a person, placed in a different environment, begins to feel part of something much greater and unknowable. However, even supporters of a scientific approach acknowledge that on these remote and dangerous islands, phenomena occur that go beyond the usual tourist experience and are unlikely to be explainable within the framework of modern science. For most travelers, this island is merely a gateway to the vast and mysterious country of Indonesia, and often only a small part of the mosaic that forms the region's unique identity. They see only a fragment of this multifaceted world, unaware that beyond the popular routes lie numerous other islands, each holding its own secrets and mysteries. These lush corners, washed by tropical winds, await explorers, offering unique discoveries and incredible stories hidden deep within their natural and cultural layers. Another significant and stirring fact is Indonesia's Ring of Fire, a powerful geological formation surrounded by numerous volcanoes, among which the legendary ring encompassing many islands stands out. According to ancient legends, it is here, deep within the Earth's interior, that gods breathe fire, creating ceaseless volcanic activity. What compels people to build their homes on the slopes of these fiery formations, despite the danger of eruptions and destruction? The reason is likely rooted in the extraordinary fertility of the soil, formed as a result of centuries of volcanic eruptions. This land is a priceless treasure, rich in minerals and elements considered rare or inaccessible elsewhere in the world. Crops grown on such fertile ground amaze with their abundance and quality, making these regions some of the most productive on Earth. And this is not merely a tribute to nature. Deeper, more mysterious reasons lie rooted in ancient traditions and mystical bonds that connect humans with the elements surrounding them. It is difficult to see these relationships as purely rational explanations, since they are based on inner feelings of unity with nature, on the sense that humans are merely a small part of an immense and eternal natural cycle. To perceive volcanic eruptions as disasters or catastrophes is incorrect. For local residents, this phenomenon is more likely regarded as an inevitable and even necessary part of the order of things, as a component of natural cycles without which life on Earth would be impossible. Historical events vividly illustrate the power of natural forces that shape the fates of peoples and determine the course of history. For example, in April 1815, on the island of Sumbawa, there was a sudden awakening of the long-dormant Tobol volcano. Its eruption was so powerful that ash ejected into the atmosphere spread worldwide, causing a global cooling event known as the Year Without a Summer. This event served as a stark reminder of how closely human destinies are linked to the forces of nature at work beneath the Earth and in the atmosphere. As the average temperature of the atmosphere and oceans gradually increased on our planet, climate changes became so significant that despite a seemingly small temperature drop of only a few degrees, the consequences were widespread destruction. Long-standing habits of both nature and humans were disrupted, leading to a series of disasters: crop failures, famine, and the spread of various epidemics across Europe and America. These catastrophes fundamentally altered the everyday lives of millions, threatening their very existence and caused immense suffering and hardship. Such destructive natural events serve as a reminder of the instability and fragility of human civilization in the face of natural forces. However, surprisingly, despite the formidable destructive power of nature and these large-scale global catastrophes, the people living near this active volcano did not abandon their land. They continued to live and work there, where many others would have fled, leaving their homeland. This unyielding attitude is explained by their deep awareness, shaped over centuries through coexisting with natural elements within a civilization uniquely formed by historical and cultural factors, known as the Kore civilization. Their life and culture did not happen by chance. It was precisely through this long-standing coexistence that a distinctive, tradition-rich culture emerged, which today is regarded as a symbol of resilience and wisdom. For the inhabitants of these areas, volcanic eruptions are perceived not as disasters, but as a logical part of the natural cycle, an organic and necessary moment of the world's renewal, an expression of its constant and mighty force that both creates and destroys. They see it as an expression of nature itself, not as a sign of danger. Anthropologists studying these regions note a remarkable paradox. In areas with high volcanic activity, people demonstrate extraordinary psychological resilience. They are characterized by calmness and composure in the face of the most uncertain and anxiety-provoking situations, as well as deep respect for the power of nature, which seems unnatural for civilizations where dangers appear constant and inevitable. The way of life of these communities shows that ongoing exposure to risk, perhaps even danger, does not lead to fear or despair. On the contrary, it fosters a unique worldview, a perspective in which the boundaries between life and death, creation and destruction are blurred, transforming into a continuous flow of natural processes where everything is interconnected and interdependent. This ancient, wise outlook on the surrounding world, passed down through generations, may hold the key to understanding how humanity should relate to natural disasters, especially in an era of global climate change. When danger becomes more tangible and pervasive, such knowledge and wisdom help us realize that fighting nature is not the only answer. Rather, it is more important to learn how to coexist with its forces. Among many mysteries, Indonesia stands out with one of its unique phenomena, which can be called a paradox resulting from the meeting of different cultures and religions. This feature has been called the Islamic paradox. It manifests in the fact that, despite Indonesia being the world's largest Muslim country, with over 230 million people, and where Islam holds a dominant position, a special, deeply symbiotic religious tradition has developed here. This tradition integrates elements of Islam with local beliefs, animistic cults, as well as Hindu and Buddhist traditions. Within this vast archipelago, where religious systems and cultures might seem incompatible at first glance, a unique spiritual model has emerged, one capable of synthesizing these seemingly contradictory directions. This synthesis combines Islamic ideas with indigenous notions of spirits, natural forces, and ancestors, creating a complex spiritual landscape. To you, travelers arriving here with established ideas about religion and culture, encountering this diversity can be a true cultural shock. In villages and settlements in central Java, located beneath ancient volcanoes, one can observe an astonishing picture. Muslim rituals here are often accompanied by traditional Javanese dances, ceremonies, and offerings, intended not only for Allah, but also for ancient natural spirits regarded as protectors of the region and its rich culture. This unique symbiosis, seemingly uniting incompatible belief systems, exists in a surprisingly harmonious way and even contributes to the development and prosperity of local spiritual life. Researchers of religious practices note that this phenomenon demonstrates the high resilience and steadfastness of Indonesian Islam, which for centuries has shown a remarkable ability to preserve its identity and internal integrity despite the pressures of globalizing, fundamentalist movements and cultural changes. Throughout the history of the Southeast Asian region, local traditions and practices within Islam have displayed an extraordinary capacity to adapt to the characteristics of their own culture while maintaining their spiritual essence. Over the centuries, Islam in Indonesia has not merely permeated and spread, it has been closely intertwined with local customs, traditions, and worldview, creating a unique synthesis, a distinct cultural and religious cocktail. It can be said that religion in this part of the world often not only adapts to the conditions and traditions of local populations, but also preserves its core ideological integrity without dissolving completely into foreign cultural influences. Numerous historical examples and studies attest to this. Researchers believe that such a flexible, open, yet resilient approach to religious practice and theology has allowed the Muslim community in Indonesia to remain vibrant, relevant, and dynamically evolving. This approach helps ensure that religion remains not only a spiritual system, but also a vital component of the people's cultural identity, providing a sense of internal harmony and continuity. Some scholars point out that the key to such stable development lies in the profound wisdom of local traditions, which have shaped a unique mentality and approach to perceiving the world. These traditions teach not to reject the new, but to accept it harmoniously, integrating it carefully into existing spiritual and cultural foundations. As a result, a special model of interaction with new ideas and practices emerges, fostering inner harmony and consensus within society. This method helps avoid confrontation between the old and the new, turning potential conflicts into points of growth and development. For Indonesians, this is not merely a religious strategy, but a principle based on respect for tradition while remaining open to change. It is this balance between preservation and renewal that forms the foundation of their spiritual resilience. Within the framework of this approach, an important current question is actively discussed. Is this unique form of spiritual syncretism, i.e., the combination of various religious and cultural elements, merely a temporary historical phenomenon, a reflection of specific conditions, or does it represent a longer-term and more sustainable model for the development of religious traditions? Perhaps it is the ability to dialogue, to unify different elements, and to harmoniously combine them that may become the key to the future for many other national religions and cultures striving for resilience and inner harmony in a rapidly changing world, rich in diversity and globalization. This experience shows that flexibility, tolerance, and the skill to integrate different perspectives can be valuable lessons on the path to social stability and spiritual growth. Now let us turn to another important aspect of Indonesia's wealth, its multilingual heritage, which is an integral part of the cultural identity of this stunning archipelago. Indonesia is a true linguistic paradise, unique in its mosaic of diverse languages. According to expert estimates, there are currently over 700 developed languages and dialects in the country, each serving as a separate thread in the intricate fabric of folk art and history. Each island community is like a separate world, filled with its own sounds, intonations, linguistic features, and speech traditions, passed down from generation to generation, forming a rich and diverse linguistic palette. This extensive diversity is not accidental. It reflects the richness and particularities of the multitude of nations inhabiting these lands. Indonesian has been chosen as the official national language, Bahasa Indonesia, artificially created to unify the peoples speaking hundreds of different languages and dialects. However, despite the widespread use and support of this language, it has not completely displaced the variety of local languages. In every corner of the archipelago, on each island, you can hear the voices of small communities that preserve unique languages and traditional forms of communication. These languages are not only means of communication, but also carriers of whole cultural meanings, histories, worldviews, and unique perspectives on life and the surrounding world. Unfortunately, as in many countries with a rich linguistic heritage, many of these languages are today under threat of extinction. Mass urbanization, city growth, the spread of global media, and standardized education lead to fewer and fewer young people speaking their ancestral languages. To some extent, it is a form of cultural self-destruction, since these languages hold special wisdom, a unique view of the world, and reflect the values and traditions of their people. Remarkably, on Sumatra, for example, only a few local residents have managed to preserve the Mindos language. And on Java, the dominant language remains Javanese, each carrying deep historical memory and a distinctive worldview. These languages possess delicate grammar and rich vocabulary, making them true treasuries of folk knowledge. Their disappearance would not only mean the loss of linguistic uniqueness, but also the loss of a part of cultural heritage that shapes the national identity and individuality of the people. After all, language is not just a means of communication. It is an entire system of symbols, perceptions, and reflections of the world, which forms the values, traditions, and mentality of a people, creating a unique worldview connected to their history and destiny. Let us consider an example that demonstrates the richness and uniqueness of the living world around us. For instance, on the Indonesian island of Umatara, one can hear the speech of the Mendos people, a language that carries centuries of cultural memory and expresses the historical self-awareness of this community. On another island, Java, there exists the Avanian language, which is also part of the national linguistic heritage. Each of these languages is not just a tool for transmitting information, but a true cultural treasure, embodying the richest inheritance accumulated over generations. They are an integral part of the people's identity, contributing to the preservation of the unique global picture that has formed over centuries, shaping the appearance and soul of this people. However, today it has become evident that these linguistic treasures are under threat of disappearance. In a globalized world where international languages and standards are increasingly integrated into daily life, the existence of these unique languages is becoming more and more vulnerable. And although their preservation is a crucial task, it carries the danger of complete loss of this cultural individuality, of the loss of those multi-layered meanings embedded in every word and expression. Indonesia's linguistic wealth is not just a collection of random words or dialects. It is a living testament to the complex, multifaceted identity of its people, which they are proud of. Despite the diversity of languages, this people strives for unity, finding internal strength in it. Within this diversity lies the source of indomitable resilience and authenticity. Perhaps it is precisely because of this richness that Indonesians can preserve their roots, find a balance between modernity and tradition, between global influences and their own unique culture. However, one particularly dangerous creature stands in the way of this preservation: the Komodo dragon. This reptile not only commands awe with its physical power, but also poses a threat to human life, as its bite can cause serious complications or even fatalities. Why is that? It all comes down to the uniqueness of this creature's organism. The saliva of the Komodo dragon contains a complex set of bacteria, some of which can cause extremely severe and hard-to-treat infections in humans, especially if treatment is delayed. Local residents living near the habitat of this predator are well aware of its dangers and assure that even a single bite from this creature is a serious threat to life. They say that a single drop of its saliva is capable of killing a very strong, well-trained person, a fighter with impressive physical strength. These warnings are not just exaggerations or myths. They are a stark reality based on the biological characteristics of this lizard. It is precisely the bacteria hidden in its saliva that make a bite not merely a display of its natural power, but a truly deadly threat. That is why local residents regard the Komodo dragon with complete respect and caution. They know an encounter with this lizard is no joke, but a signal to remain vigilant and respectful. How did these amazing animals, which have survived from deep antiquity, manage to live for millions of years, remaining nearly unchanged? How did they endure conditions that have constantly been worsened by human activity? Komodo dragons are living witnesses to a long and complex evolutionary history. They have preserved many traits of their distant ancestors despite millions of years of changes and natural trials. Although their range is limited to a few islands such as Komodo, Rinca, and Flores, this very circumstance makes their existence more mysterious and secluded. These animals are confined to limited spaces, and each population is like a separate island amid vast oceanic expanses. Such isolation creates vulnerability. Even minor environmental changes or human interference can harm their numbers and potentially lead to their extinction. Living across diverse landscapes, from white sandy beaches and rocky shores to dense tropical forests, Komodo dragons have adapted well to various conditions. They hunt prey in such environments, seek shelter, and survive by adjusting to the specific features of each habitat. In these rich ecosystems, they have found their unique niches where they feel at home, establishing their habits and ways of life. However, beneath the attractiveness of their habitats lie many secrets. What mysteries does the lifestyle of these ancient lizards conceal? What enigmas are hidden in their behavior and biology? And what must humans know to understand and protect these amazing creatures? It is around these extraordinary beings, seamlessly integrated into the natural landscape, that their incredible ability to survive in conditions radically different from those typical of most other ecosystems is preserved. In an era of rapid climate change and human activity, their unique ecological niche has become particularly vulnerable. However, these ancient reptiles have adapted their natural traits and managed to endure successfully. The growing tourist interest and the desire of many people around the world to connect with living history and see them in their natural habitats all create new threats to their existence. As excessive visitation, disruption of natural conditions, and harmful human impacts can have devastating consequences. As a result, the risk increases that these ancient reptiles, true living heritage of the planet, may disappear from the environment forever. The question of the role of Komodo dragons overall, not only within the ecosystem, but also in maintaining the balance of nature, is becoming ever more relevant since their presence signifies the integrity and health of ecological balance. These large predators, often called some of the most impressive reptiles on the planet, regulate the populations of many other species, making them vital components of the natural chain. The behavior of these lizards, their hunting strategies, and reproduction methods remain shrouded in mystery, many aspects of which are yet to be uncovered. Their adaptations to harsh conditions, features of their interaction with the environment, all of this remains the subject of keen scientific interest, eager to understand how such ancient living creatures have preserved their traits and managed to survive to the present day. This is not only a testament to the incredible resilience of nature, but also a reminder of how little humanity knows about the secrets preserved in the world. Their conservation is our duty as stewards of nature, because the disappearance of these unique species would mean losing invaluable pages of the planet's history, its past, which is important to remember and preserve. The question arises, can we ensure the safety and protection of these remarkable creatures, these living witnesses of ancient eras, and thus preserve them for future generations? Or will human greed, foolish actions, and thoughtless interference ultimately lead to these magnificent representatives of fauna disappearing forever, lost in the shadow of our mistakes and irresponsible decisions? When discussing the region's biodiversity, it is impossible not to note that Indonesia is not just a geographical entity consisting of 1,000 islands, but a real treasure trove of living wonders and ecosystem riches. This country holds a worthy position among the most diverse nations in the world, and its natural resources attract increasing interest from scientists and researchers worldwide every year. Approximately 10% of all known flowering plant species on our planet, about 12% of mammals, 16% of reptiles and amphibians, and 17% of bird species reside within Indonesia. Such astonishing biodiversity makes Indonesia one of the most important natural sanctuaries in the world, as preserving its unique flora and fauna is of immense significance for global biodiversity. How has this remarkable country managed to preserve such wealth in conditions where many natural species around the world are disappearing each year, giving way to destructive human impacts and natural disasters? The answer to this question remains largely a mystery, as millions of years of evolution have created here unique ecosystems that persist under often severe and unpredictable conditions. In the world, many Indonesian islands continue to await explorers, for nature here guards its secrets, slowly revealing them only to those seeking knowledge. These mysteries ignite genuine interest among both scientists and nature lovers, as each discovery or observation has the potential to change our understanding of the world and expand the frontiers of knowledge. In this context, the so-called eighth mystery of Indonesian cuisine becomes particularly noteworthy: the magic hidden in the richness of spices and cultural influences woven into every dish. Indonesian cuisine is not merely a collection of recipes, but a living art born from the intertwining of traditions and cultural passions, expressed through a complex symphony of flavors and aromas. This culinary world can transport the taster into a mysterious, treasure-filled realm of secrets and discoveries, full of vivid colors and deep meanings. How did such a wealth of culinary traditions emerge, where each spoonful and every piece tells its own unique, inimitable story, rooted in ancient cultures and centuries of accumulated experience? This astonishing diversity is the result of centuries of cultural exchanges, influences, the fusion of traditional recipes, and innovations that create unique dishes still delighting and surprising modern palates. The answer to the puzzle of this region's uniqueness lies in its rich and layered historical fate, as well as its strategic geographical position, which makes it a crossroads of maritime roots and cultural influences. This vast archipelago, stretched over thousands of kilometers, has become the cradle of diverse peoples and their unique cultures, reflected in numerous traditions, including culinary heritage. The flavorful and vibrant history of this region, intersecting with influences from the Indian Ocean, tropical seas and oceans, and the cultures of the peoples who have lived here for centuries, has woven an unmistakable cultural fabric. It is precisely through these historical intertwinings that a rich gastronomic heritage has formed, featuring iconic dishes such as nosik garing, fragrant rice and skurits, fried rice or magrang, as well as various fried noodles. These culinary delicacies also include braised and fried meats. Dishes like soto, succulent meat kebabs, or rendang are not merely table fare, but true symbols of Indonesian cuisine, embodying its power and richness. Each of these masterpieces can be seen as vivid works of art, where every detail and nuance convey the characteristics of a particular island and its culture. When it comes to flavor, the bright, spicy notes of Javanese dishes form a harmonious palette, while in other provinces, softer, slightly sweet shades prevail, creating an astonishing kaleidoscope of taste and aroma combinations. And this is what every gourmand seeks. What exactly lies hidden behind such wealth and diversity? Why is Indonesia home to such a wealth of precious and expensive spices, such as nutmeg and cloves? These spices are not just ingredients, but true historical treasures, symbols of an era when great explorers and traders forged new routes in search of the riches of the world. Their value even today is extraordinary, considered among the most expensive and prized in the world. And their wealth was driven not only by rarity, but also by a long history of transportation, trade routes, international connections, and the struggles for control over the sources of these spices. Indonesian chefs, mastering culinary arts, skillfully combine such complex and rich flavors to create dishes that surprise even the most discerning gourmets. Their expertise lies in the delicate balance, in the ability to highlight each taste note, each nuance, resulting in a harmonious and alluring flavor capable of captivating and enchanting. Yet this is only part of the secret. Each region of the archipelago preserves its own recipes and traditions, passed down through generations, unique and irreplaceable, like living entities imbued with history and culture. For example, in one corner of the country, nutmeg is served with a special sweet sauce that imparts a delicate, slightly sweet note to the dish, while in another region, it is combined with a sour sauce that emphasizes freshness and brightness of flavor, creating a unique culinary kaleidoscope. These variations, like an endless maze, open up new horizons for explorers. Each change, each spice or serving method, revealing new facets of the culinary world. And is there anything in this diversity that remains unspoken or unexplained? In what other hidden corners, concealed behind centuries-old traditions, are recipes stored, passed down from ancient times? Perhaps there are still many secrets awaiting discovery. Ancient culinary knowledge hidden in hard-to-reach places. Recipes that for centuries have shaped the unique taste of local cuisine. This rich history of evolving traditions slightly lifts the veil of mystery, inviting exploration and discovery of new horizons, as each step and journey into the depths of the past enriches our understanding of the culture and history of this amazing archipelago. This makes Indonesian cuisine not only an enduring subject of study, but also a source of inspiration, key to understanding the people, their culture, traditions, and spiritual values. Unsatisfied questions drive curious travelers to the islands, scattered in the distant corners of the archipelago, those where ancient temples and architectural masterpieces, integral parts of cultural heritage, are preserved. These structures impress not only with their grandeur, but also stand as living witnesses to the deep-rooted traditions and beliefs of the local peoples, guarding their sacred customs from generation to generation and preserving knowledge passed down through centuries for future generations. Often, the sanctuaries on ancient lands were decorated with exquisite and delicate stone carvings, and statues were erected around them, each bearing its own unique story. These sculptural works were crafted with exceptional skill, transmitting not only artistic taste from generation to generation, but also centuries-old beliefs, traditions, and legends. The local inhabitants believe that it is through such sacred structures that they can establish a connection with higher powers, hear their guidance, and receive protection against misfortunes. Therefore, houses in these regions are often built in the form of mini-temple complexes where every corner is filled with symbolic meaning, and each detail serves as a reminder of the spiritual bond between humans and the divine world. In these homes, there is something more than just shelter. They become small shrines where every element acquires sacred significance. But how can one explain such a profound spiritual connection that permeates the entire life of these peoples? What drives them to believe that within these sacred constructions lies the key to understanding the higher powers? Why is faith in the power of these sanctities so strong that even their own homes transform into small temple complexes? Perhaps the answer lies in their special perception of the world, rooted in cultural traditions stretching back through centuries and religious customs. Their entire life is a harmonious combination of spiritual values and cultural rituals, which remain unchanged through the ages. Every aspect of existence, every fragment of joy or sorrow, Every celebration turns into a vivid theatrical performance. These ceremonies are not merely religious rites. They are entire spectacles in which each participant plays an important role. The whole community gathers to become spectators and co-participants in this unified spiritual event. And the question arises, can such rituals and ceremonies truly alter a person's destiny, bring well-being, healing, or enlightenment? How powerful is the energy invested in these ceremonies? And what role do they play in the lives of believers? These questions linger like thorns in the minds of those striving to grasp the hidden meanings of these ancient practices. The secrets contained within them attract researchers and travelers eager to understand the profound symbols and spiritual images embedded in the rituals. But which part of this spiritual mystery remains inaccessible to humans? How deeply can one delve into the mysterious world of religion that governs the fates of the island's inhabitants? These questions continue to rage in the minds of those dreaming of deciphering the mysteries of Bolas Hinduism, its symbolism, and the spiritual practices passed down through generations. Perhaps within it lie vast, unexplored realms waiting for their moment to become part of the collective knowledge. As for the specific traditions and the uniqueness of the culture on Sulawesi Island, it is worth mentioning the unparalleled and astonishing culture known as Manani. At the heart of this culture lies a special, enduring, and sacred connection with ancestors, maintained through a rich system of rituals and customs passed down from generation to generation. Every few years, the Toraja tribe conducts a special ceremonial rite, an event that evokes admiration from scholars and researchers around the world. This ceremony is not merely a tradition, but a profound event with deep sacred meaning, reverent and significant for the entire community. During it, the tribe exhumes the bodies of their deceased relatives, carefully dresses them in fresh clothing, and then escorts them through the village as if these spirits still reside among the living and actively participate in local life. This strange and mesmerizing practice raises many questions. How is such a thing possible? Why do the Toraja people perceive death not as an end, but as just one stage of a long and profound spiritual journey? Why in their culture is death not an ending, but a continuation of existence that requires special attention and care? Their perception of death differs radically from the understanding held by many. Death is not a tragedy, but an inherent part of life that continues in special forms and contexts. This lengthy and complex cycle of rituals underscores that in Toraja culture, death and life are inseparable concepts, and therefore they perceive it differently from most of the modern world. Such ceremonies, which take place in various regions, are an essential part of the cultural life of local peoples and serve to strengthen the bond between the living and their departed ancestors. The belief that the spiritual essence of relatives continues to exist among them, even after death, is the foundation of these rituals, in which entire families participate. These gatherings are not merely formalities. They are a profound act of reverence and remembrance carried out with genuine love and respect. People carefully select garments for their departed relatives, striving to convey their individual traits and social status as they were in life. These outfits reflect a special attitude toward the memory of the deceased, demonstrating that their individuality and dignity are not forgotten. Such a ritual is not limited to external attributes. It is rich in symbolism and spiritual meaning. But what lies behind this ancient act? In what way do such ceremonies influence the Toraja people's view of death and the afterlife? Can such reverence and the preservation of traditions become a reliable foundation for maintaining national culture, as well as the history and memory of ancestors? These questions provoke reflection on the importance of respecting the past for every people that preserves its customs, as well as on the secrets hidden behind such unusual actions. In those corners of the world where ancient rites are preserved, people often adorn their bodies with intricate and mysterious tattoos. These designs are not merely decorations, they form a whole system of symbols and signs imbued with spiritual significance. Each tattoo is a form of protection, an amulet, a talisman that guards the inner energy and helps an individual preserve and strengthen their soul within the body. The patterns, figures, signs, and symbols inked on the skin are not accidental. They possess a special power that links a person to their ancestors, nature, and the spiritual world. In society, such tattoos are not perceived as mere whims or aesthetic elements. To them, they are a part of identity and expression of the individual's inner world. Their creation is not just a ritual of beauty, but a deeply spiritual act filled with faith, strength, and energy. A vital meaning is embedded in this process, as each image serves as a reminder of the connection to the spiritual realm and ancestors, reinforcing the person's inner strength and their bond with the surrounding world. A unique feature of these peoples is another significant rite: the modification of teeth. Men and women sharpen their teeth, transforming them into sharp cones or needles, which carries not only an aesthetic significance, but also a profound symbolic meaning. This rite originates from ancient beliefs and traditions passed down through generations. Sharpened teeth are meant to instill fear in enemies, demonstrate strength, courage, and invincibility. Such an outward symbol not only represents internal status and power, but also serves as a kind of protection from evil spirits, negative influences, and dangers of the external world. These transformations are not merely fashionable experiments, but an essential part of spiritual practice, emphasizing dignity, resolve, and bravery. In the modern world, where globalization and often imposed foreign cultures seek to erase the unique characteristics of a people, tribes like the Mentawai preserve their customs and traditions. For them, this is not only a way to maintain cultural heritage, but also an expression of spiritual connection with ancestors. These traditions are not just a means of sustaining identity, but a manifestation of the deepest respect for roots in nature, love for native culture, and faith in the spiritual realm. How do they manage to retain their authenticity amid an increasingly rapidly changing world? Perhaps the secret lies in their sincere reverence for ancestors and their desire to live in harmony with nature and spiritual power. These principles help them not only withstand external pressures, but also preserve their rich spiritual traditions, which have been passed down through generations and continue to play a vital role in their lives. These values form the foundation of spiritual resilience and unity, enabling them to uphold their centuries-old traditions even when many other cultures and peoples disappear or succumb to powerful external influences. They provide strength not only for preserving cultural heritage, but also for maintaining identity in a constantly changing world. But what is truly hidden behind these ancient rites and customs, handed down through generations over the centuries? Are they simply expressions of respect for ancestors? Or do they embody a deeper, mystical power that connects humans to otherworldly realms? The secret forces of ancient gods and spiritual energies that exist beyond our understanding? These questions remain unanswered because our world is full of unexplored corners and mysteries waiting to be discovered. It is possible that somewhere deep within tropical forests or atop remote mountain peaks, enigmatic knowledge, tools, ceremonies, or rituals are hidden, which wise custodians and adventurers may one day uncover and understand. These secrets, like treasures buried deep underground, continue to reside in secluded places, awaiting the moment when someone dares and risks to penetrate their essence and truth, to shed light on the concealed mysteries they guard. One vivid and mysterious example related to ancient cultures is the society inhabiting the mountainous regions of Papua New Guinea. In these distant, nearly inaccessible locations, amidst clouds shrouded in dense forests and mist, live peoples whose traditions and rituals have preserved ancient colors. These are the Korowe and Dani tribes, which adhere to unique rites immersing them in an atmosphere of mysticism and ancient beliefs. They are renowned for their special mummy cult, a practice that helps them preserve and maintain a connection with their ancestors' legacy even after death. Unlike most cultures where the bodies of the deceased are simply laid to rest in the ground, they perform a complex and mysterious procedure known as mummification. During this ritual, smoke, special herbs, and oils believed to capable of preserving both the soul and the body forever are used. This process is not merely a physiological treatment of remains. It is a profoundly spiritual act, symbolizing the continuation of the bond between the living and the deceased, between past and present. Each mummy created according to these ancient rites becomes a spiritual amulet, a bearer of wisdom and power that unites generations. Thus, in these remote corners of the world, hidden from the eyes of modernity, Traditions endure that preserve the memory of bygone eras and reflect humanity's profound relationship with spirits and ancestors. These peoples demonstrate that even today, it is possible to maintain a special connection with the past, an era when the world was filled with mysticism and magic, and life and death were regarded as a whole. The number of such places where these rites and practices continue to exist shows how rich and multifaceted our world is. Each new discovery in this field brings us closer to a fuller understanding of how our ancestors perceived life, death, and eternity. The images of the world they held in myths and traditions, how they explain the connections between the terrestrial and the spiritual, all of this remains a fascinating mystery, open for exploration. A special place in this chain of mysterious and astonishing traditions is occupied by one of the most mystical practices that have existed and still exist in remote corners of the planet. Specifically, this refers to the culture located in the territory of Papo, the New Green, where for a long time such complex and often frightening rituals as cannibalism and headhunting were preserved. These customs were an integral part of their worldview, shaping their way of life, religious beliefs, and social relations. Their ancient traditions, hidden in the heart of tropical forests and on the slopes of high mountains, have increasingly attracted the attention of scholars and mystery enthusiasts with each passing decade. Until the mid-20th century, such rites were perceived not just as part of cultural rituals, but as an essential component of their perception of the world and spiritual life. These secret and powerful actions, often symbolizing authority, healing, or protection, remained hidden from outsiders until recently, adding an aura of enigma and mystery. Sometimes it seems that these practices serve as a kind of bridge connecting the modern world to ancient times, when the world was full of magic and mysticism, and folk beliefs and cults formed a solid foundation for life. Customs rooted in centuries past continue to live in the hearts of some small tribes, each carrying a vast memory of ancient rituals, ceremonies, and beliefs that shaped their worldview. This rich experience demonstrates that even in the modern world, there are areas and corners where ancient traditions and practices retain their significance and power, serving as reminders that humanity is not only about technological progress, but also a vast collection of spiritual and cultural values rooted deep in history. Thus, among the numerous secrets and mysteries hidden in remote corners of the planet, the belief in ancient forces and unfathomable knowledge persists among tribes that have chosen to preserve their traditional customs. Each discovery in this sphere brings us closer to understanding how our ancestors perceived the surrounding world, what images and ideas of eternity shaped their myths and rituals. All of this serves as a reminder that human culture is much deeper and more multifaceted than it appears at first glance. In every corner, even the most secluded and mysterious, there are answers to questions about our origin, destiny, and eternity. These isolated groups of people adhered to the belief that consuming parts of their enemies' bodies or preserving their heads grants them access to powers and knowledge believed to belong only to the defeated. Such a ritual was not limited to a simple symbolic gesture. It held a far more profound and magical meaning. In the minds of these peoples, it served as a kind of protective amulet for the entire tribe, strengthening its spiritual power and creating a sense of security from potential enemies. The unifying cult of these rituals was based on the belief that through such actions, one could transfer the spirits of the defeated, gain their strength, and receive their protection. At the same time, these rituals fostered a special balance between the living and the dead, which was an important part of their cultural and spiritual worldview. In ancient times, such practices were regarded as sacred acts that strengthened the connection between the living and the spiritual heritage of their ancestors, contributing to the unity and integrity of the community. They served not only as triumphs of military victories, but also transformed into powerful rites that helped harmonize the collective psyche, preserving the spiritual integrity of the clan and tribe, and filling them with the strength and energy of myths and legends. But how could it happen that in the modern world, with its foundations rooted in humanism and human rights, such practices still find a place in the lives of some peoples? The official stance is as follows. Cannibalism and headhunting have long been prohibited by law, and authorities are actively taking measures to eradicate such traditions. viewing them as manifestations of barbarism incompatible with modern values. Despite this, in the most remote corners of the planet, in inaccessible and scarcely studied regions, there remains a possibility that these rituals continue to be performed secretly and in altered forms. In these covert ceremonies, hidden from prying eyes, ancient knowledge is passed down from generation to generation, preserving their secrets and rites despite persistent efforts by authorities to suppress them. This phenomenon raises many questions. What motivates these followers of ancient traditions? What deep-seated reasons and motives underlie their continuation? Perhaps the roots of these rituals lie in mythological beliefs deeply embedded in the culture of these peoples, which are assigned sacred significance and considered an integral part of their spiritual heritage. Many researchers suggest that these customs are not merely expressions of cruelty or primitiveness. They can be viewed as part of a broader system of worldview, in which the boundary between life and death, between spiritual and material worlds, is very blurred. In these perspectives, death is perceived not as an end, but as a transition to a new existence, a stage in the endless cycle of life and death where spirits play a central role. In this sense, the question arises, are there modern tribes or communities that continue to practice these rites, retreating from civilization and hiding their activities from the outside world? These groups probably strive to preserve unique cultural traditions passed down through generations, attempting to maintain their identity and connection with their ancestral heritage, even amidst modernity. The answer to this important question remains a mystery. It is still unknown how many such communities exist and where precisely they are located. The secrets of ancient tribes, such as the Poplawski or other small communities, continue to attract scientists, adventurers, and mystery enthusiasts eager to uncover the mysteries left behind by our ancient ancestors. A world once thought lost and faded into the shadows of history has not surrendered. These cultures make themselves known, reminding us of the diversity of human beliefs, the complexity, and the multifaceted nature of our past and cultural heritage. An event such as the 14th incident, a bloody revolution or coup, found its reflection in a documentary film called The Assassination, which reveals horrifying and shocking details related to the actions of people whose deeds, despite their gruesome nature, were justified by personal motivations and deeply rooted beliefs. The film demonstrates that even in the darkest pages of history, there are cases where individuals justify their actions, terrorism, and crimes, viewing them as part of higher goals or inevitable tests of fate. Through deep analysis and reflection, it becomes increasingly evident that, for them, these mass murders are not at all disgusting or unacceptable. On the contrary, they perceive such horrifying events as natural and even honorable. In this way, they turn their painful memories of tragedies into something akin to a source of personal pride and inner dignity, which provokes profound surprise and contemplation in the observer. This extraordinary phenomenon prompts reflection on the nature of human morality and how it can happen that people begin to distort notions of good and evil, turning terrible acts into norms. How can we explain such an astonishing, yet simultaneously disgusting and horrifying tendency toward moral degradation? Are there genuine reasons or motives within their consciousness that could partly justify or explain such cruelty? These questions remain unanswered, creating the impression that an atmosphere of fear and anxiety still lingers in the air, as if the shadow of terrible events from the past continues to haunt modern society like an unseen ghost. Still, this is not the only mystery associated with this pivotal historical moment, for behind its events lie not only obvious facts, but also forces and motives often incomprehensible to the average person. Who or what stood behind this bloody violence and chaos? Perhaps something much more complex, layered, and tangled was happening behind the scenes, where the interests of local elites, political factions, and international powers, interested in achieving their own goals, intersected. The shadows of the past still stretch over modern Indonesia, leaving traces that hinder the full understanding and processing of this tragic legacy. Many people continue to live with the consequences of those terrible events, painfully trying to find answers to questions that remain unresolved. And how many secrets are still concealed within the depths of history? How many unknown facts await their moment to be uncovered and help modern people understand and accept the true truth? Every new perspective, each fresh interpretation of these events seemingly opens new facets, new sides before us, prompting us to consider how easily human society can cross the line between civilization and barbarism, between order and chaos. Special attention must be given to the mysterious people known as Bajau fishermen and their unique way of life within Southeast Asia. This people, called Bajau, have lived for centuries in harmony with the boundless sea, their home, source of sustenance, and an enigma beyond the reach of most. These seafaring nomads constantly move across the ocean, as their lives and existence are tied to changing water and wind routes and unexplored depths. They are rarely seen on land. Their way of life is filled with secrets, carefully guarded through their centuries-old traditions and rituals. How were they able to adapt so completely to a life that often seems extreme and inaccessible to most people? What secrets do they hold within that allow them to survive in conditions where most would be helpless? It is known that Bajau people can dive into the ocean depths up to 30 meters without any special equipment and hold their breath for 5 minutes or longer, a feat that seems almost mystical and incredible to an ordinary person. Their children learn to swim at a very early age, often before they even take their first steps on land, which testifies to the deep, inseparable connection of their culture with the sea. In their world, the ocean's fury and seafaring life become part of the very essence of their being, as the maritime elements and endless water have woven into their history as part of their destiny and culture, and most importantly, as part of their soul. Time for them is like a magical, mysterious world where the sea is their home, their source of strength and inspiration, and where their entire way of life is filled with mysteries rooted deep in the vastness of the ages. At the same time, a question arises: what is the cost hidden behind such an extraordinary, fairy tale-like life? Many people arriving in these wondrous places suffer from the so-called land seasickness, a condition characterized by dizziness, nausea, and other unpleasant symptoms that occur when they find themselves on land after long periods in the sea. This astonishing and sometimes slightly strange state invokes not only wonder, but also an important philosophical question. Is their origin truly linked to ancient sailors who once left their native shores to voyage across vast oceans, seeking new lands and opportunities? It is no coincidence that their physiological features, unusual and commanding respect, seem to be part of a special, unique symbiosis that has developed between humans and the sea, with its wealth, hidden secrets, and mysteries. These extraordinary abilities, seemingly beyond ordinary perception, create the impression that their inner world and bodies are designed to live in complete harmony with the ocean, as if an invisible thread connects them to the blue expanse of the sea, with all its boundless power and wisdom. Indonesia, this magical land crossing thousands of islands, each harboring a unique culture, distinctive customs, languages, and traditions. This is a place where every corner is infused with history and the spirit of ancient times. Many of these cultural features remain mysteries both to explorers and to the local people themselves, and it is precisely this that makes Indonesia truly special. Like a world filled with secrets hidden behind the veil of time. How is it that amid this tumult of peoples and traditions, elements known only to a select few exist? This profound and mystical question compels one to ponder the nature of this rich cultural heritage, the reasons why many of these knowledge remain strictly secret, passed down through generations, often hidden from outsiders. Indonesia is not just a territory on the map. It is an entire world with a complex and multifaceted history, intertwined with ancient beliefs, rituals, and the wisdom of ancestors preserved over centuries. Into this mysterious and enigmatic world, traditions and customs are not only embraced by locals, who see this knowledge as part of their everyday life, but also by travelers seeking answers to questions about the meaning of existence and the spiritual roots of this unique people. For a mature audience, having endured numerous trials and life hardships, it is especially important to understand and appreciate the depth and antiquity of the wisdom contained in these customs. Often, this wisdom appears incomprehensible and even inaccessible to the modern person, accustomed to fleeting news, instant information, and a superficial view of the surrounding world. However, within the depths of these traditions lie valuable lessons that can teach patience, respect for nature, harmony with the environment, and the spiritual strength that resides within each of us. What are the key lessons that can be drawn from Indonesia's rich cultural heritage? What makes these ancient knowledge and practices unique and special? Have you ever wondered how many secrets are hidden behind the mysterious rituals and ceremonies conducted in remote villages, often far from tourist routes and popular attractions? And how do these rites reflect the fundamental principles of life, deeply rooted in the consciousness of Indonesians? Each island is like a separate universe, with its majestic temples and temple complexes, or with wild, pristine nature, offering unique keys to unravel these mysteries. Each of them holds their own story, legends, and secrets that help reveal the true essence of the peoples inhabiting these lands, their spiritual values, and their historical heritage. We invite you to share your personal impressions of the depth and charm of UB Indonesia in the comments, especially if you have had the opportunity to visit this astounding place firsthand. We are very eager to learn which facts you encountered during your stay that made the strongest and most memorable impression on you, sparked genuine interest, and inspired a desire to learn more. What surprised you the most? Was it the unusual architecture, unique traditions, or extraordinary natural landscapes that left a mark on your memory? Or perhaps you were intrigued by the moments you wish to explore even further to better understand the mysteries of this enigmatic country, where every corner holds ancient secrets, legends, and unique customs passed down through generations. Perhaps your questions and observations could become the starting point for new discoveries, insights that will help us delve even deeper into Indonesia's rich culture, understand the internal logic behind its traditions and beliefs, and truly feel its spiritual essence. After all, each new detail, every additional explanation, even the smallest one, brings us closer to unraveling the many mysteries surrounding this wondrous land. Only when we open ourselves to new horizons of knowledge can we truly comprehend the meaning of its ancient customs and understand why this country rises in splendor with its unique beauty and multifaceted nature. Ultimately, every bit of your curiosity, each question, and every new detail help us come closer to unlocking the secrets of this intricate, diverse country and to experiencing its unparalleled uniqueness reflected in the richness of its natural and cultural treasures.